Okay, we are in field 6 and I'm talking about
Hi,
and
Denny.
he's explaining what is planted here.
Alright, so you can see right in here, this is green, this is grass that's grown up. So we're going to be planting this into organic blue corn. And then the other roadway is going to be red rainbow flint corn, both organic and, or no, they're not organic, they're open pollinated, non-GMO. So then this is a type of oats and pea mixture for cover crops for building soil and nitrogen, because the peas will give nitrogen. And the oats are great weed suppressor, and they're really good at conditioning soil. And so this area, I had envisioned it to be the enterprise area where we could have different groups of people around. So I want to build this soil for future uses. And each one of these blocks is at least a half an acre. It's 50 foot wide goes all the way down to the what do you call it, Nature Conservancy barrier. And then right here, I set this up last year and planted it all in Dutch white clover. These are raised beds. And I've got my perennials planted in here for perennial flower production. This is also 50 foot wide. And so like this is a lobelia black truffle. I got some rudbeckia, different cultivars of perennials that can be deer resistant. I've got some echinops. This is achillea, what do they call it, lady's mantle for filler. There's what's that called? Eucalyptus in there for filler. And then this is some veronica. Then I've had some peppers I got from the Dayton urban food thing. So we have 16 beds here, 4 foot wide by 50 foot long. And so this would be eventually kind of a no-till, setting it up for no-till, small scale intensive gardening. So this is 16 beds. Each roadway I had planted with Dutch white clover last year for continuing to develop the soil. And last year, half of this was under a big compost. I got 2 semi-loads of compost. So that end has no compost and this end has compost, and it really changes the composition. So then this becomes another big roadway, and we're going to seed this to grass. Maybe the Nature Conservancy is going to do something, but I'm really hoping that this oat pea mixture, you know, all these shoots are edible, they're all organic, but they'll grow into a big mass and just be a biomass producer. And then oats are really good for loosening soil. And I did notice this year we didn't have the annual weeds that a lot of the other farmers have. The yellow butterweed. And so I think the drainage is improving in here, because we did no-till beans with the mustard last year, and it just seems different. So I don't really know how to quantify it, but it has a different feel to it. So
Tell me what kind of oats you have growing in field 5.
Field 5 has sumo, organic sumo oats, and they're called a naked oat, and they don't have that little husk on the outside, so it allows us to basically not put it in a dehuller machine, and it will allow us to basically winnow lightly and knock that little hull off, and then we can mill it. We can do steel cut oats. I have a steel cut mill I've never used, and to try to generate maybe a food product. Now my hope is we don't have any of that sold, so if I can't sell it, we may set some aside for like a workshop where we can kind of go through the process of oat to food, but we may bale it and sell it as hay if I can't, because we do need to recoup some of the seed costs, which were and so what I'm going to do over there, because we have a huge weed problem that's warm season weeds here from this cover crop that germinated and the seed set. So Agraria allowed me to not do, the way we have it set up this year is not do a cover crop or not do a cash crop necessarily. So that allows me to break that weed cycle by putting a cool season. Oats are cool season. I planted them really early when it was cold. They like that. Peas like it cold. So then they'll mature around the time that all of those annual weeds like the sorghum, Sudan grass, everything that got like 10 feet tall, millet and all that, they'll be germinating. And then when I take it off, I have buckwheat to put in, and so then we can interrupt that weed cycle. So that was a big I don't know what you call that, a breakthrough moment, paradigm shift, is like using crops to break weed cycles as opposed to just controlling them, whatever weed comes up with an herbicide. And then all of the center down there, the far field over there, the center field, all the Nature Conservancy field, we planted with organic triticale for seed production, and we have a contract with Walnut Creek Seeds for that. So Jason and I teamed up, we planted that side, we planted that, so that's about this high. It's looking good, not as dense as the oats, but I planted those about a month earlier than the triticale. So we're hoping to use all of the area, and then he's going to come plant corn, his organic corn production this week, hopefully before the rains come. So I'm out here trying to cultivate and get ready for him planting, and hopefully move some of the seeds out of my office and into the ground. So.